Unlike the Nora or the Karja, the Oseram are not a very united people. The lands of the Claim, the Oseram homeland, appear to extend north of the Karja Sundom and as far west as what the Karja call the Forbidden West, approaching the coast. These lands are divided among largely independent villages, each run by a council of elected eldermen, though even that specific government structure may differ from settlement to settlement, especially on the outskirts of the claim. The villages are managed by familial clans, which are loosely united to form the Asaram nation. Nonetheless, various warlords and general strife seem to persist in this decentralized state. Asaram Freebooters, mercenary bands, are a common sight in the borderlands of the claim. There is a presumed tribal capital called Mainspring. Oseram tend to dress warmly, for the claim has a cold and wet climate. Their warriors are recognized by their armor of thick leather and forged metal. The Oseram are perhaps the only tribe to forge their own alloys instead of reusing machine parts, which makes its way into their preferred garb, even of non-soldiers. All Oseram take pride in their tribe's craftsmanship, and consider delving into the ruins of the Old Ones far from a taboo. In fact, the Oseram say they were the first tribe to explore the ruins of the Old Ones' world. They value the discoveries and knowledge that come from such delvings. So too do they study the workings of the machines, using every part possible when they take one down. Oseram engineers, called tinkers, have produced surprisingly advanced technology, perhaps the most advanced outside the relics of the Old Ones. Asaram work crews helped the Karja build the great lifts in Meridian. Tinkers have also been able to make lures which emit a signal that attracts machines. One Asaram even managed to create a device for recording and replaying sound. Most devastatingly, the Asaram have in recent years used repurposed machine parts to create cannons that fire explosives over a distance. These were demonstrated most effectively in the liberation of Meridian, when Oseram soldiers fighting for the soon-to-be Sun King Avad brought them during the Karja's civil war. The Oseram have a long history with the Karja, with work crews and mercenaries frequently seeking work in the Sundom. That relationship soured when the 13th Sun King began the Red Raids, a series of attacks against the Oseram and every other tribe the Karja could reach. Captives were taken and then brutally sacrificed to the sun. The Sun King's heir, however, sought allies among the Oseram and recruited an army to challenge his father. After retaking the capital Meridian, the 14th Sun King Avad's closest ally, an Asaram freebooter named Ursa, organized a group of Asaram warriors into his personal guard, the Vanguard. The city of Meridian was open to the Asaram and other outlanders, triggering a wave of Asaram migrants seeking opportunities. Despite their skill as craftsmen and engineers, the Asaram have a reputation as a rude and unsophisticated people. It's a reputation earned by their cultural tendency to be argumentative and dismissive of the ways of other tribes. A council of eldermen is known to argue over a single issue for days, with free-flowing insults and barbs. The Asaram value a good argument and view forthrightness as an important trait, even if it isn't pleasant. This tendency is probably exacerbated by a culturally permissive attitude towards heavy drinking, which outsiders have noted is very common among the Asaram. Also earning them few friends among other tribes is their irreligious outlook. The Asaram believe the whole world is a large and intricate mechanism that accounts for all the forces of nature. They believe the Old Ones were caretakers to this world machine, and their civilization fell because of their failure to maintain it. Beyond this, the Asaram have few specific religious beliefs. The tinkers and metalworkers of the tribe sometimes use this view to berate other tribes as negligent and aggrandize themselves. They have very little respect for the beliefs of other tribes. This has particularly strained relations with the Banuk, who take a far more mystical view of the machines in the world, and often find the Oseram reckless in their exuberance for taking things apart. The Asaram have a very patriarchal culture, where women in the claim are not permitted to own property, and may be treated as property. Married women that pursue a profession take a professional surname with wife at the end. A craftswoman may be called forge wife, for example. A soldier may be called blade wife. Women who become soldiers are expected to shave their heads. These social restrictions tend to be looser the further one gets from the claim. In recent years, Oseram women in particular have taken advantage of the Karja's reforms to migrate and seek greater freedom in the Sundom. So that's one of the interesting, if underdeveloped, tribes of Horizon. I wish we had a bit more information about how the Oseram society works, but we only got 2 tiny villages in the game, and it wasn't delved into too much. That bit about women being treated as property is mentioned like once by one character, and I wish I had more details on that because it otherwise isn't evidenced by any character we talk to. The Oseram actually made me think of fantasy dwarf tropes with the hardy warrior, heavy drinking, genius craftsman thing. We'll see what we get in the Forbidden West. That's all for now. I hope you have a good day.